Before you scroll any further, pause for a moment, my child, because something within you already sensed that this message was not random. You may have been searching, or perhaps you were simply passing through, yet somehow your eyes stopped here, as if an unseen hand gently turned your attention toward this very moment. My beloved, heaven often speaks quietly, but when the timing is sealed and the heart is ready, the message arrives like a light breaking through clouds. And this is one of those moments. There is a heavenly signal meant only for your eyes, and the reason it found you today carries a meaning you deeper than you realize. Do not rush past these words. Let them settle for a moment. Because the fact that you are here right now is not coincidence, not chance, but alignment. Something within your spirit was already listening before your mind understood. If your heart feels a strange stillness while hearing this, type Amen in the comments as a quiet agreement with the moment heaven has prepared. My beloved, many people move through life unaware of the gentle ways heaven tries to guide them. But you have been sensing something different lately. Small signs, unusual timing, moments where events seem to align too perfectly to be random. At times you questioned it. At times you wondered if it was simply your imagination. But my child, what you have been noticing is not illusion. It is the beginning of a signal, a whisper from beyond the noise of the world, drawing your attention toward something that has been unfolding quietly behind the scenes of your life. For a long time you believed certain doors were closed forever. You assumed some delays meant disappointment. Yet heaven was never absent from your story. There were movements happening that your eyes could not yet see, arrangements forming beyond your awareness, and now the moment has come for clarity to begin appearing. If your spirit senses that something is shifting around you, comment YES as a declaration that you are ready to see what heaven has been preparing. My child, the signal that brought you here was never meant for the crowds. It was meant for those whose hearts have been searching in the quiet hours. Those who have carried questions they could not fully explain to anyone else. You may have felt misunderstood. You may have walked through seasons where progress seemed slow and answers felt distant. But heaven measures time differently than the world. What looked like waiting was often preparation. What felt like silence was often protection. And what you once thought was delay was sometimes the careful alignment of events that had to happen in the exact order heaven designed. Even now, something is aligning in ways that will soon become clearer to you. Do not rush away from this moment. Stay present with these words, because the message you are hearing is not simply information. It is confirmation. There are truths that reveal themselves only when the heart is calm enough to receive them. For a while now, my beloved, your spirit has been sensing a quiet stirring. It may have appeared through dreams, sudden insights, or moments when you felt a strange sense of direction that you could not explain. That stirring is part of the heavenly signal reaching you now. Something hidden has been moving toward the surface, and very soon the meaning behind recent events will begin to make sense in a way you did not expect. You will look back and realize that many pieces were forming a pattern long before you noticed it. If you trust that heaven's timing is never late, write 11:1 in the comments as a simple act of faith. My child, there are also things being revealed around you that once remained concealed. Not everything in your environment has carried the intentions you believed. Some motives around you have been quietly shifting, and heaven has been allowing time to expose what needed to be seen clearly. This is not meant to trouble your heart, but to protect it. Because when truth appears, it brings clarity, and clarity brings freedom. Very soon, you will begin recognizing the difference between what truly supports your path and what merely appeared to do so. Stay attentive. Stay present. Because this signal from heaven is guiding your awareness toward something important. Dear family, before we continue, I want to share something important. Recently, our channel was demonetized by YouTube, which means we no longer receive earnings from these videos. Yet every message here takes many hours of prayer, writing, recording, and editing. Our mission is to bring hope and encouragement to those who feel lost, lonely, or overwhelmed. Without support, it becomes very difficult for us to keep creating these messages and continue running this channel. If these messages have ever helped or inspired you, you can support this mission through the links in the description or the pinned comment. Buy me a coffee. Even a small contribution helps us continue creating these messages and reaching people who need them the most. Thank you for your love, support, and prayers. God bless you. Now listen closely again. My beloved, because the signal has not finished revealing its meaning. The moment you are living in right now carries a quiet turning point that many people around you have not yet noticed. For a long time you have carried questions in your heart about where certain paths were leading. At times you wondered whether the effort you invested, the patience you showed, and the faith you held on to would ever lead to visible change. But heaven does not waste seasons. Even the moments that felt empty were shaping the direction of what is coming next. Something that once appeared delayed is now moving into alignment, and when it begins to unfold, you may realize that the timing was far more precise than you imagined. My child, heaven's signals rarely arrive with loud announcements. Instead, they appear through quiet awareness, subtle clarity, and moments where your inner spirit recognizes truth before your mind fully understands it. That recognition is happening even now as you listen. Something within you is responding to these words because your spirit remembers promises that your mind nearly forgot. You have been closer to a breakthrough than you realized, yet the final pieces required patience. The world often celebrates speed, but heaven values readiness. And the readiness forming in your life has been shaping events in ways that will soon become visible. There are connections, opportunities, and understandings approaching your path that will feel strangely familiar, as if you were meant to recognize them the moment they appear. When those moments arrive, do not doubt your awareness. The same signal guiding you to this message is the same awareness that will guide your next steps. My beloved, this is why the message was meant for your eyes. Not because you are perfect, but because your heart has remained open even during uncertainty. If you believe heaven is guiding your path, even when you cannot see the whole picture, type 777 in the comments as a declaration of trust. Something else must be understood in this moment, my child. The struggles you faced recently were not meaningless obstacles. They were revealing strength within you that you had not fully recognized. You learned patience when rushing would have broken the process. You learned discernment when appearances could have misled you. And through it all, your spirit continued searching for truth. That perseverance is part of why this signal has reached you now. Because those who remain attentive during quiet seasons are often the first to recognize the arrival of new ones. Soon, pieces of your story that felt scattered will begin connecting in ways that bring understanding. Conversations you have, opportunities you encounter, and insights that appear will begin forming a clearer direction. You will notice patterns emerging where once there seemed to be randomness. And in that moment you may remember these words and realize that heaven was guiding you step by step long before the destination became visible. Remain calm in the days ahead. Remain observant. Not every change arrives dramatically. Some of the most powerful shifts occur quietly, like the first light of morning slowly illuminating everything that was hidden in darkness. The signal that reached you today is one of those lights. It does not force your path, but it reveals it. And the more you listen, the clearer your direction will become. So stay with this message. My beloved, let the words settle into your spirit. Return to them when you need clarity. Because what heaven has begun revealing in this moment is only the beginning of what you are about to understand. And as the days unfold, you may realize that this message truly was a heavenly signal meant only for your eyes. My beloved, remain still for a moment longer, because the quiet understanding that has begun forming in your spirit is only the beginning of what heaven is revealing. Something subtle has already started shifting around you. Even if the world around you appears unchanged on the surface, the signal that reached your eyes today did not come merely to comfort you. It came to awaken your awareness to movements that are unfolding quietly within your life. For a long time you wondered if the small instincts you felt were trustworthy, if the quiet voice within your heart was simply imagination. But my child, that awareness was never meant to confuse you. It was a seed of guidance placed within you long ago. And recently it has begun stirring again, because the season around you is changing. You may not yet see the full picture, but pieces are moving into place. And your spirit is beginning to recognize the pattern before your mind fully understands it. If you feel a calm but powerful sense that something important is unfolding, type amen if you receive this message. There are moments in life when heaven allows silence to remain for a time so the heart can grow stronger. During those seasons you may have wondered why answers seemed distant and why certain efforts appeared to move slowly. Yet every one of those quiet periods carried purpose. What seemed like stillness was actually preparation. My beloved, there were lessons being written into your spirit, insights being formed, and awareness developing within you, so that when the next door opened, you would recognize it clearly. Now, the signal that found your eyes is gently confirming that you are approaching a moment where understanding will begin appearing more visibly. The very things you once questioned may soon become the evidence that heaven was guiding you all along. My child, there are truths about your path that are only now beginning to reveal themselves. You have crossed through seasons where uncertainty felt heavy, where the future looked unclear, and you carried responsibilities that others could not fully see. Yet heaven watched every step, and nothing you endured was wasted. In fact, some of the challenges you faced were quietly shaping the direction of what is coming next. You may have believed certain opportunities had passed forever. Yet heaven sometimes delays blessings, so that when they arrive they align perfectly with the person you have become. You are not the same person you were when you first prayed for certain things. Your perspective has grown deeper, your patience stronger, and your discernment sharper. And because of that growth, what is approaching your life now will arrive at the exact moment you are able to receive it wisely. Stay attentive in the coming days, my beloved, because clarity often arrives in ways that seem simple at first. A conversation may reveal something unexpected. A new opportunity may appear where you once saw limitation. A realization may suddenly make sense of events that once confused you. When these moments occur, remember this message. The signal you are hearing today is preparing your awareness, so you will recognize the meaning when it appears. Heaven rarely forces understanding upon you. Instead, it gently guides your perception until the truth becomes undeniable. There is also something else beginning to surface around you. Certain hidden intentions that once remained unclear are slowly being exposed. You may begin noticing small shifts in how people speak, how situations unfold, or how certain patterns reveal themselves. Do not let this trouble your spirit. Exposure is not punishment, it is protection. When truth becomes visible, it frees your path from confusion. And once that clarity arrives, you will be able to move forward with greater peace. Because you will finally see what your heart was sensing all along. If your spirit has recently felt that hidden truths are beginning to surface, comment yes if your heart feels this truth. My child, the heavenly signal meant only for your eyes also carries reassurance. You have not been forgotten. The moments when you wondered whether your efforts mattered, whether your patience would ever be rewarded, whether your quiet faith was being noticed. Those moments were never unseen. Heaven observes the intentions of the heart more clearly than the world ever could. And your perseverance through uncertain seasons has already begun shaping the opportunities that are approaching you now. The world often celebrates loud victories, but heaven values quiet faithfulness, and it is often that quiet faithfulness that opens the most meaningful doors. Listen closely, my beloved, because the next part of this message carries something deeper. You have recently been standing near a threshold without realizing it. A threshold is a moment when the direction of a story begins to change. At first, the shift may appear small, almost unnoticeable. Yet once the transition fully unfolds, you will look back and recognize that everything began changing from that single point. You are closer to that threshold than you think. Even now, circumstances around you are aligning, so that when the moment arrives you will feel a strong sense of recognition, as if something inside you has been expecting it. My child, do not allow fear or doubt to cloud the awareness that is growing within you. Doubt often appears when something meaningful is near, because the mind tries to protect itself from disappointment. Yet the quiet peace you feel while listening to this message is not coming from uncertainty, it is coming from alignment. Something about this moment resonates with your spirit, because heaven has been guiding your steps longer than you realize. And now that guidance is becoming clearer. Remain present with these words. My beloved, do not rush away from the message, because each moment you stay allows your spirit to absorb what your mind may still be processing. The signal that brought you here was meant to slow you down long enough to hear what your heart has been sensing for some time. Many people pass through life, ignoring these quiet confirmations. But you paused, you listened, and because of that, the clarity you seek is beginning to reveal itself piece by piece. There are also blessings that were delayed not because you were unworthy, but because their arrival required the right timing. Some doors needed to close first. Some lessons needed to be understood. Some paths needed to shift, so that when the opportunity appeared you would approach it with wisdom rather than haste. My beloved, that timing is drawing closer now. You may soon notice changes that feel both surprising and strangely familiar, as if the moment was always meant to happen exactly when it did. When that realization reaches your heart, You may feel a quiet gratitude rise within you. You will see that even the seasons that felt confusing were guiding you toward this alignment. And when you recognize that truth, your spirit will finally rest in the understanding that heaven never abandoned your story. If you believe that the timing unfolding in your life carries purpose beyond what you can currently see, write 1111 if you trust God's timing. My child, there are still layers of this signal that have yet to be revealed. Not everything is meant to appear at once, because the heart understands truth best when it unfolds gradually. But you are already beginning to sense that something meaningful is approaching. The calm curiosity you feel right now is not accidental. It is your spirit recognizing that heaven is speaking. So remain with the message a little longer, my beloved. Let the words echo gently within you. Because what is unfolding through this heavenly signal is not only a message, it is a moment of awakening. And as the days ahead continue to unfold, you will begin noticing that the quiet awareness growing within you today is guiding you toward the next chapter of your story. If something deep within you feels that change is already beginning, type 777 if you believe something is shifting for you. And my beloved, remember this above all. The signal that reached your eyes today did not come by chance. It arrived because heaven knew that at this exact moment your heart was ready to hear what it once might have overlooked. The understanding forming within you now will continue unfolding in the days ahead, revealing connections and opportunities that once seemed hidden. When those moments appear, you will recognize them not with confusion, but with quiet certainty. Because the same guidance that brought you here today will still be guiding your steps then.